Long before it became an icon, Captain America's shield began as an experiment no one believed would work. In the early 1940s, when the world teetered on the edge of darkness, a scrawny kid from Brooklyn volunteered to become something more. Steve Rogers didn't just gain strength in that secret lab. He gained a symbol waiting to be born. The first design wasn't the circle fans know. It was a heater-shaped plate of steel, painted bold red, white, and blue. Practical for deflecting blows, sure, but awkward, heavy, and prone to dents after every mission. Steve wielded it anyway, charging Nazi strongholds with unflinching grit. Then came the moment that changed history. Government scientists experimenting with a mysterious metal called vibranium, smuggled from the hidden land of Wakanda. Dr. Myron McLean, working late one night, tried fusing vibranium with an experimental alloy. A lab accident bonded the elements in a way no one could replicate. A single disc, perfectly balanced, impossibly resilient. Steve held the prototype, feeling its weight settle naturally on his forearm. This wasn't just equipment. It felt alive, like it belonged to him. On his first mission with the new shield, Rogers hurled it through a Hydra checkpoint. It ricocheted off a truck, slammed two soldiers, and zipped back into his grasp. The squad stared, stunned, as Cap grinned for the first time in weeks. From that day, the circular shield became part of the man himself, a promise that he would stand between the innocent and the storm. Painted with concentric rings of red, white, and blue, its center star gleamed like a rallying point for soldiers fighting impossible odds. But not everyone admired its shine. Enemy tacticians began plotting ways to destroy it, while Hydra spies schemed to steal the alloy's secret. McLean struggled to reproduce the bonding accident, failing every time, proving the shield was truly one of a kind. As the war escalated, Cap's legend grew alongside the disc strapped to his arm. On D-Day, he used it to clear bunkers under withering fire. In Italy, it protected allies from collapsing stone as Hydra saboteurs set charges. And during one mission over the Alps, Steve leapt from a burning plane, using the shield as a sled to carve a safe path down icy cliffs. By the war's midpoint, photographs of Rogers and that star-spangled circle were plastered across Allied newspapers. It wasn't propaganda anymore. It was hope forged in metal. Yet whispers spread that Hydra was building weapons specifically to counter the indestructible disc. Cap didn't care. To him, its real power was never invulnerability. It was the message behind it. Still, fate would test that faith before long, as the shield's story was only beginning. The deeper Captain America marched into enemy territory, the more legendary that round shield became. Its unbreakable surface turned firefights into daring charges, letting Allied squads believe they could do the impossible. But every symbol attracts those eager to shatter it. Hydra's scientists crafted energy rifles, sonic cannons, even blades laced with stolen vibranium scraps. None truly harmed the disc, yet every strike reminded Steve Rogers that his weapon was a prize as valuable as the man himself. More than once, he fought while agents tried to pry it from his grasp mid-battle. Then came the fateful mission over the North Atlantic. Cap and Bucky Barnes pursued a bomber carrying a new Hydra warhead. High winds battered them as they climbed aboard, Rogers planting his shield into the fuselage to steady himself. Explosions ripped through the craft. Bucky was thrown into the freezing void, and Steve steered the doomed plane away from civilians, shield still locked to his arm, as it plunged beneath the ice. For decades, the world assumed both hero and weapon were lost forever. The shield, however, lay preserved in Arctic silence, its paint dulled but its structure flawless. It waited, encased with its master, until SHLD sonar teams discovered an impossible blip beneath the ice sheet. When they hauled the frozen soldier aboard, scientists marveled. The man was alive, and the artifact beside him looked forged yesterday. Polished clean, the star gleamed again, reflecting a world that had moved on without its sentinel. Awakening in a new century, Steve felt adrift. But when Nick Fury placed the disc in his hands, memory rushed back. War zones, friendships, the vow never to stop fighting. The shield wasn't just a tool. It was an anchor tying him to purpose. Modern threats soon tested that bond. In New York, Cap deflected alien plasma bolts as Chitauri swarmed through a rip in the sky. During missions with Black Widow and Falcon, the disc became an extension of every muscle, its flight precise as thought itself. Even against towering automatons or enhanced soldiers, the vibranium alloy endured, ringing like a bell each time steel or fire slammed against it. But peace never lasted. Governments debated whether one man should wield such a perfect defense. Some demanded the shield become state property, others wanted it locked in a vault. Steve refused. He'd carried it through mud and snow not as an agent, but as a guardian for anyone who needed hope. When betrayal struck within S.H.I.E.L.D., Rogers slammed the circle through walls and databanks to uncover Hydra's infiltration. Its indestructibility mirrored the grit inside him. Yet each victory hinted at a storm approaching, a challenge that might separate the hero from the symbol he carried. Not every battle left Captain America's shield unscathed. During the cataclysmic clash with Thanos, the Mad Titan's double-edged blade struck again and again. At last, the impossible happened. Gleaming vibranium cracked, splintering across the star. For a heartbeat, Steve stared at the jagged edge, disbelief etched on his face. The symbol of protection had finally met an equal force. But even broken, it served its purpose. Rogers tightened the torn straps, raised what remained, and stood against an army alone. That image, a soldier bracing with a shattered disc, defined heroism more than perfection ever could. After the victory and the return of the Vanished, Steve chose a quieter path. He journeyed back through time, returning the Infinity Stones and finding a chance to live the life were denied him. When an older Rogers appeared on the lakeside bench, the shield, now whole again, gleamed on his lap. He placed it in Sam Wilson's hands, entrusting him to carry the promise forward. Sam's acceptance wasn't instant. He wrestled with doubts, with the weight of legacy, and with a world divided about symbols and who should bear them. But through missions and sacrifice, Wilson learned what Steve always knew. The shield is only as strong as the courage behind it. Years later, new threats still circle. Governments craft imitations, villains forge corrupted versions, and others seek to bend its meaning. Yet the original remains a beacon. Each scratch tells stories of trenches, alien skies, betrayals, and friendships. It reminds every Avenger, every citizen, that one act of resolve can hold the line against chaos. From Brooklyn alleys to interstellar war zones, the star-spangled disc has endured. It has been buried in ice, cracked by a titan, and passed to new hands. But no hammer, no claw, no tyrant has erased its heart, a quiet promise that when darkness advances, someone will stand in its way.